Alright, Jeskai tempo. Pretty close to the same list we've been playing for a little bit. Got a couple of small changes in the main and the sideboard. In the main deck, I've got a Logic Knot and a 4th Bolt over the 2 copies of Grim Lavamancers I'd been playing previously. And then in the sideboard, I've gone ahead and I've cut the 2 copies of Force Negation because they've kind of been underperforming. I had another Disdainful Stroke, and I added a Stroke for the same reason I added Logic Knot, and I wanted a couple more ways to counter 4-mana Urza, the new Urza card for the Urza matchup. And then I also went ahead and worked in a Settle the Wreckage here as a pseudo-sweeper. Holding up this card's a little bit less obvious in this deck because we have Restoration Angel and so many other instant speed threats. It's also a sweeper that exiles stuff against Hagak, which is nice, so... Yeah, hand sounds fine. Hopefully it's a matchup where Path to Exile has text. If it's not a matchup where this has text, we'll just probably turn into, like, you know, bad burn deck. Morning, Tret. Morning, Patreon. Fat Man. How you doing, folks? Happy Wednesday. Flooded Strand, eh? Flooded Strand, Godless Shrine. Some kind of Esper deck? Could also just be a black-white deck with off-color white fetches. I assume we'll lose Snapcaster Mage here. I guess if they have something they really don't want Helix done to, they might take that, but probably a Snapcaster. Most Godless Shrine Thoughtseize decks are fair decks, so taking my card that grinds a little bit is ideal. Morning, Cole. Morning, Pelly. Maybe I'm supposed to spread before I play the land, because then I could play a tapped land. But I guess if I spread before I play the land, I wouldn't be able to hold up Path to Exile, which is ideal. I'm doing well, card. Got a good night's sleep. They could still be Esper. The fact they have Delta 2 implies that they're Esper. Basic Swamp. Definitely Esper. Wonder if we'll see this go up because they know I have a Helix. Yeah. I think we just dubs Helix here. And just, like, hold on to the Bolt for an efficiency standpoint. So they got their 2-for-1 there. I guess I could have Bolt Snap Bolted and had the Snapcaster Mage in play. Maybe that's slightly better. Yeah, I think that might be slightly better. Because that's technically not a 2-for-1, right? Because, like, I still have a Snap left over. Yeah, I think that sequencing was bad there. Looks like Esper Shadow. Yep. If they have a Stubborn Denial here, we could be in a little bit of trouble. Or another discard spell. Because they know about this Path to Exile. So we're a little bit behind at the moment. Yep. One of the issues with this archetype is that it doesn't really have, outside of the Teferi Spell Queller interaction, we don't really have, like, actual 2-for-1s in our deck. So when you get into situations like this, it can be hard to get back into them. It's because you don't really have fantastic catch-up mechanics. It's like exactly Snapcaster Mage, the 2-for-1s, and like, he's not really a 2-for-1 in a matchup like this. No, I mean, I'm going to pass during their upkeep. Hoping to Fate Stubborn Denial. Did not get stubs. That's nice. Yeah, I'm doing well, Driven. Hard cast Street Wraith. Yep. Yep. Alright, let's draw Teferi into Snapcaster Mage. What are our outs here? Removal spells, right? Like, it's like, how's that a question? Like, we draw a Snapcaster Mage or a burn spell, we kill this. We draw another spell, we kill this. What's my out to the creatures in my deck full of removal spells? The removal spells. Now, drawing a bunch of lands is not going to do it, but actually, I guess that's not even true. If we would have had, we flooded here a bit, and if we would have had a Colonnade in our flood, the Colonnade would have actually taken this board and maintained it, right? Alright, this is not a matchup where Spreading Seas is particularly useful. Purge, Detention Sphere, Settle the Wreckage sound great. You want to go ahead and trim Veto. I think I'll leave Logic not in because it counters their creatures. These don't really kill things I super care about. So yeah, just bringing in more removal spells for cards that don't kill things, I think. Dreadhorde Invasion is just too slow in my experience. It just takes too long to get going and isn't aggressive enough. I think if you felt like you wanted more recurring threats in the Aristocrats deck, I would consider Gutter Bones again. But I haven't felt like that archetype needs more of that, if that makes sense. Maybe this deck wants a third Colonnade. It's possible that this Glacial Fortress should be a third Colonnade to make it when you flood out, it hurts a bit less. Morning Anaphylactic. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, Prime. I haven't felt like I've had a shortage of things to sacrifice to Priest since we gained Chandra in the archetype. Yeah, the Esper Reanimator deck is one of the better Reanimator decks that I've played in Standard for sure. If you sent in a donation for a deck and it didn't get added to the queue within 24 hours, you should send me an email saying, hey Jeff, I donated for this on X day in Y manner, because I probably missed it. And getting things added to the queue is a manual process, and this is a one-man show. So apologies, I do miss things. Just send me an email nudging me from wherever you donated from, and I'll get it taken care of after I'm done today. Sorry about that, Nomad. Yeah, our hand's like okay here. The problem is that like my opponent's deck's full of discard spells, so like you can't really count on like having your cards that do things actually do their things, because your opponent's just gonna pick you apart. March. Fair Magic tends to struggle a little bit in Modern, and I actually don't really enjoy playing decks like this Jeskai against decks like my opponent's deck or Jund, because a lot of these matches just come down to like my opponent played their discard spell, and then I'm hoping to get really lucky and redraw whatever they took out of my hand off the top of my deck. There's not a lot of play and counterplay to it. No, not at all, Master Will. Standard, Modern, Legacy, Commander, Politics, Pokemon, other video games, whatever strikes your fancy. They were just waiting till the shadow was, They were waiting till the shadow was out of Helix range, that makes sense. Not be super surprised to get, like, Path to Exiled here. It's a pretty good draw. Start with that. Now this Colonnade plus these Helix could let us steal this game. Because we can like end step, double Helix, untap, Colonnade you. Which Colonnade tends to steal you a lot of the games that you end up winning against Shadow in my experience. I guess any untapped land here lets us kill them, right? We get to Helix them at end of turn, and then we untap, and the Colonnade has Vigilant. So if we animate the Colonnade, smack them for 4, and then use it to cast the second Helix, they die next turn. Oh yeah, they're actually just dead, right? Because of the snap. Yeah, if we don't get discard spell, we just have 9 points, right? Just Helix, snap Helix. We have 6 mana. Yeah, good catch. Good call. They're going to snap Thoughtseize here. Sure. Snap Thoughtseize leaves them dead to known information, right? Because they know I have these Helixes. So unless they have another... No, even if they have another discard spell, right? Yeah, they're actually just dead regardless of what they do. Yeah, the roll queue is really nice. I think we're gonna sprinkle in. We're gonna sprinkle in some more Warhammer and Overwatch between now and when rotation happens at the end of September, just to get a little variety in. Yeah, I think my opponent just conceded. They realized that they're dead to known information with the Colonnade on board and Teferi to prevent like Path or Fatal Push from killing this. Yeah, the fair matchups definitely make me want a third Colonnade. And the Glacial Fortress is a pretty natural swap for it because it keeps all my color counts the same, so I might end up doing that. Hey, Shadows, thanks for the 7 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. I think this hand's actually a mulligan. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. Again, it's just like, and this is part of the reason, we talk about this with Thought Erasure decks in Standard 2, just when people are playing all these discard spells, an incredible amount of skill is removed from these games because, like, I'm incentivized to keep mediocre hands like this just because, like, if I mulligan for a hand with better spells, my opponent's just gonna, like, Thoughtseize and Inquisition me, so it doesn't really matter that I found better spells, right? So I should just keep this hand that, like, has spells it can cast because I just want the highest quantity of cards possible. Now, the way you want to pace these games with your burn-ish deck against Death Shadow is you don't want to just like be willy-nilly firing off these Lightning Helixes. You want to be making your opponent put themselves to a range. We basically want to make our opponent put themselves to 9. We want them to do enough damage to themselves that they can play a Death Shadow that doesn't die to Helix. Because once they've played a Shadow that doesn't die to Helix, they're at 9, which means 3 Helixes kill them. So, you know, I often refer to this deck as Fancy Burn. And as you can see here, that is what this hand is definitely looking like. This is 12 and like this is 15 in a way. One of the nice things about this matchup as opposed to say Grixis Shadow is I don't have to worry about my opponent combo killing me with something like Team or Battle Rage, so that's nice. Is this a competitive deck for Modern? I mean, as good as... Listen, all I'm going to say is, if you're not registering Hagak or Wurza, you should probably follow your heart. And I enjoy playing this deck. I'm going to be playing a local tournament tonight with Yarok Field, and I know a good portion of the field will be playing Bant. I'm playing your exact list. Any tips? If you want to hedge the Bant Scape Shift matchup, the Bant Field matchup a little bit, I would recommend putting all your disfigures in the sideboard and main deck 2 copies of Legion's End. You could even go deeper than that and board the Grazers as well, but Grazer's like okay game 1, and it's pretty important to have against aggro. I think that small swap will go a long way, having a way to exile all their zombies game 1. Your heart tells you to register Siege Rhino. Follow your heart. Follow your heart, Squishy. You can do it. I believe in you. Mr. Wilson, thank you for the 3 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Land. Tilt. Definitely want to maximize just like getting red sources here. Yep, we're going to just point this first Helix right at this here. They need double Street Wraith to survive the Helix here. And if they had double Street Wraith, I think they would have cycled it to try and hit a land drop. Yikes. Yikes. Yep. Notably, their third land draw there was a basic, so... Giver of Runes. I mean, my hand is mono removal spells, so Giver's not going to do a whole lot here. Do 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 do. Boo do 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 do. I am slowly killing my way through their stuff, but it's reducing my burn. Yeah, I agree, Burgle. When they don't have the ability to hammer their health total right now, though, Giver makes a little bit more sense. So opponent missed a pretty critical play here 2 turns in a row. They should have sacrificed these, because if they sacrifice these in response to my Helix, I don't get to gain life, which is a pretty big deal. I'm gonna play this, and I think I'm gonna plus it to start, just because if they play something else that dies to a Helix and I draw a land, I can snap Helix whatever they play, and then use Teferi to bounce my Snapcaster Mage back to my hand, which is pretty nice. Sure. So now, if I draw an untapped land, we get to Bolt Snap Bolt this, and then bounce my Snapcaster Mage. So Detention Sphere is not like Deputy of Detention. If I Detention Sphere this, it grabs my Teferi as well, so that's not ideal. There's also a Mardu Shadow variation that's been going around. It's been making the rounds a little bit. So I'm not pathing anything here at end of turn because my opponent has, what's it called? Teferi in play. So I think I'm going to bounce this Death Shadow. Am I going to bounce the Death Shadow? Maybe I should snap Bolt the Death Shadow? Yeah, I should probably snap Bolt the Death Shadow, right? If they have a Street Wraith, they end up pretty sad here, though. Street Wraith is something they can still do while I have this in play. They did not. Okay, so this feels like we're in a pretty good spot here. They have five cards in their hand too, though, so like that's pretty relevant. Yep. Deal. Probably just want another white source here. I don't have Cryptic Command in my deck, so I never need triple blue, which is nice. So I think we start with this and take a peek about what's in their hand. They brought in Leyline in the Void against me. That's really strange. I guess they're just like really don't like my Snapcaster Mages. Deal. Alright, so they can keep all of those, obviously. And then I'm going to go ahead and path this. And I think I just bounce this Giver, just like draw my card. Just as you will. Those are honestly the best Vendilion Clique triggers. The ones where you're just like, yep, I can beat all those cards. You can keep them. Do they know about D-Sphere? Yeah, I think so. I don't remember, honestly. So here comes Inquisition. Now they know now. Yep. Now they definitely know. Nah, I don't think that's strictly true, Dale. It was a heads-up play by them that they pathed my Snapcaster Mage with the Teferi in play, so then I wasn't able to sit there and rebuy it. So their hand right now is Stepmom, Death Shadow, 2 Leyline. And they have 1 card I don't know. Not surprised to see Path go away here. Spell Queller is not a terrible draw for later. I need to take this Teferi off the table though. I'm at 25. Do I want to just get this click down? I could like bolt Mom and play click here. And like take a hit. Yeah, I agree, Burgle. Outside of that one miss, they've made pretty good decisions from what I've seen, and a lot of the information's been heads up here. I think I want to kill this. And then another real question is, do I want to click this Time Raveler out of my hand or not? I don't think I do. They have 2 ley lines that I'm not taking, but I'm pretty happy with my hand. So we're going to take 6, 7, 8 here inside of combat. Leyline of the Void resolves. Snapcaster. Any future Snapcaster Mages we draw are going to have plenty of food, and we're already through 3 of them, so, you know, God bless. Allendale, thank you for the 4 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, and like, I have their onboard stuff covered. Oh, and they're being conservative with this because I have Colonnade. That makes a lot of sense. That is a phenomenal draw here. So then I'm going to go ahead and play Detention Sphere for this Death Shadow. And then I can Spell Queller something next turn and then play Teferi, bounce my Spell Queller. And I think we're probably heading towards a lock here. Yep, 18. Just gonna go grab my shock lands here. And then don't really have to worry about much here. I guess I should technically lead on Teferi, huh? So I get to play Teferi and plus him. You'd be worried about now? You'd be worried while I'm at 11? Why would we be worried if I was at 11? You think this game is functionally different if I'm at 11 right now? Because I disagree with your statement. I think this game is functionally the same if I'm currently at 11 versus 17. So, interaction there for people that haven't seen this deck played before. Little soft combo. While Teferi Time Raveler's in play, they can't recast their spell from Spell Queller. So, we can bounce our Spell Queller with Time Raveler and just deny them their card. Which is pretty good. I think we just try and kill them next turn. Just like fire up Colonnade and smash. One of the things that's neat in this deck too with Teferi in these post-board games is that with Detention Sphere, you can like bounce the Detention Sphere. You can bounce the Detention Sphere if they play another thing that's underneath it, and then like replay the Detention Sphere and grab both of them. Yeah, the card does stay exiled. It can't be cast, so it just stays there. It just remains in the current zone in which it is. I am doing well, Branch. I definitely lots of days in a row, couple of days with not enough sleep, get a little bit irritable, a little bit easier, and I'm a self-aware enough wolf that I know when I'm in a mood that's not gonna end up being good content, and definitely rather just take breaks. Good, Oms. Glad you're enjoying it. I see it needs a third land pretty badly, but we're on the draw. Any blue or white source makes this hand pretty reasonable. Opponent checking out some of their options here. Could be Storm, could be Twiddle, could be Phoenix. Let's see if they're going to show me their TTs here. Could be putting a couple of Burbs into play. The proactive Manamorphose here implies Phoenix, I think. Hopefully they don't double Phoenix me. If we get double Phoenix here, we're going to be a little bit behind. If we get double Phoenix, we need to draw the third land on 3. So the last one will be Faithless Looting. Hopefully they only ditch 1 bird. This is what you're getting into when you sign up for... When you sign up to register Celestial Colonnade in Modern. You just gotta know. Just gotta be aware that, like, this is what the format is. No, I forgot to update the thing, Shellers. I wrote the go live notification messages while I was pissed off at Modern yesterday. And then I'm considering playing a Modern MCQ on Saturday, so I wanted to play this deck. Blue-Red Phoenix is a tempo deck. Yeah, I bet. Alright, so now the question becomes... Do I need to play Teferi and bounce the Aria Flame right away? Or do I want to snap Path here? I think I want to snap Path here. And then we can bounce the Flame next turn. I don't want to snap Path during my turn, though, because giving them an extra land gives them a higher chance to kill me. There's a chance that not bouncing this means we die anyways, but there's also a chance that if we bounce it, we still end up dead. So I think the play to win line here is snap path this and go from there. Hope we get a turn of reprieve, basically. This is another... There's a lot of matchups in Modern right now where Detention Sphere are just quite excellent, which is why there's 2 of them in my sideboard. I've considered going up a Celestial Purge, too, because, like, it's really good in a lot of random matchups like this and against Death Shadow. I'm doing well, Pope. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. So how many spells do they need to cast to kill us? Triangular numbers count up real fast. So they go 2, then 5, then 9, then 14. So you need to cast 5 spells this turn to kill me. And there's a Finale of Promise, so that's 3 spells in and of itself. So one card, 3 spells probably means we're dead here. So they just need 1 more spell to cast here. 2 more, right? That's at 5. A lightning bolt would do it. They scryed double bottom there. But they have 6 cards and their deck's full of 1 mana cantrips, so. Oh, this goes up to 6 and it's just 1 more. Duh. Because it adds a counter and then does damage. Yeah, not having a way to permanently remove the flame game 1 makes this definitely hard, especially when it resolves. So you get to bring in some surgicals, some detention spheres, and a celestial purge here. Spreading seas. This is a matchup where it's not particularly good. I don't think this is a Settle the Wreckage matchup. I don't think it's a Logic Knot matchup. I think I want to just trim Lightning Bolt here. Bolt doesn't kill a whole lot. At least 2 of them need to go. I wonder if I want all 3. I wonder if I want all 3 surgicals. So you don't cut Restoration Angel in this deck. I get it that a 4-mana card feels slow against their aggro draws, but like the games you're winning with this deck are games that are going long, and you need a card like Restoration Angel to actually kill them. Like one of the things control players do too often is they go down to too few threats. I'm only gonna board in 2 surgicals here. It's only good against like exactly Phoenix. Oh, you know what? This Magma Spray should be in. I already submitted this Magma Spray. This matchup's one of the reasons there's a Magma Spray in the sideboard. This should be over a Bolt here. For sure. All right. And bottom and opt here, I think. Yeah, just dirtling around endlessly is basically never good in Modern. One thing that's kind of sweet to note in this matchup is that, just like in Standard, 3-mana Teferi makes their what's it called? Their Finale of Promise not work. Why is Gifts unbanned? Can I answer your stupid question with another stupid question? Why do you think Storm needs to be nerfed? What about blue-red Storm in this current format makes you think that's a deck that needs to be targeted by a ban? So, I think I'm just gonna snap Opt here. I'm gonna wait to Surgical these Phoenixes because leaving them in there could give my opponent more incentive to, like, fire off a bunch of spells when they otherwise might not want to fire off a bunch of spells if they know their Phoenixes are going away. So I think that's fine to keep this. I took the Veto here because I'm just trying to cover my bases on how my opponent's going to kill me. The Surgicals cover the Phoenixes, and then I just need to be able to cover Thing in the Ice and Aria Flame. And Dovin's Veto covers the Aria Flame very nicely. It also covers that very nicely. It just seems like a really weird question to ask, Merja. Like, why aren't we banning this thing in this deck that's like tier infinity? I have another one? That's rough. Let's Spell Queller this. They could have a bolt here, but like if they bolt it, then they don't have a mana up to make tokens this turn. If my opponent puts 2 cards on top of their deck here, I'm gonna Surgical them to shuffle them away. They double bottomed. Okay. Snap Veto up now. Puts us in a pretty good spot, considering they're going to 8 on this attack. And we have the Surgical to cover the Phoenixes out of the bin. Sure. So they'll have 4 cards in hand after this one resolves. And even if they have, like, an answer to my Surgical, I have Snap Surgical up potentially too, in addition to Snap Veto. And this is what I said earlier about waiting to Surgical. Because my opponent's now taking game actions, like, under the assumption that they're going to get their Phoenixes back, and then we'll get to play the Surgical and deny them those. They're dead, right? We Snap Veto this, we Surgical their birds, we untap, attack, and Helix them. Blood Moon. Blood Moon's another reason to have another Celestial Purge in my sideboard. This card's real annoying. Oh, Magic sucks sometimes. Oh, this puts them to 6. Never mind. We're good. We're good. We're good. I had them at 8, and then I was thinking I couldn't cast the Helix, but they put themselves to 6. You're right. All right, Magma Spray in, Lightning Bolt out. I think I'm happy with the rest of this. Do I want the third Surgical over the Bolt? I probably do. I probably do. Yeah. Hey, Quarth, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Just really thinking about this matchup. It's basically about, like, covering 1, 2, 3 bases. Just like, we want to not die. We want to not die to Phoenixes. Surgical does that. We want to not die to Thing in the Ice. Path and Detention Sphere do that. We want to not die to Aria Flame. This hand seems fine. It's a little soft to Blood Moon, but it's got good interaction. So we know they have Blood Moon in their deck, so this Scalding Tarn is going to want to fetch a basic island for us here, almost certainly. Pro tip for people in general. If you ever do something like, say, pander to anti-vaxxers in my chat and then get banned from my chat for me telling you that we shouldn't pander to anti-vaxxers, the way you don't get yourself unbanned is to private message me and tell me that the reason you were banned was unjust. That's not going to end in the result that you want. The Flooded Strand here is a decent pickup because it lets me fetch a basic plane, so that's nice. Luckily, we're in no Justice stream. Yep, so I'm cutting myself off of red mana with this fetch, but I think it's pretty important to play around Blood Moon here. I don't need a red spell anytime soon, so I think just like, again, thinking through the list of things, the way I lose this game and the way my opponent locks me out, like Blood Moon's on that short checklist, so I want to just make sure I have my bases covered here. And this covers Aria Flame and whatnot. And hey, that's a red source, so I guess we'll play this out. And taking the veto there is like taking 2 vetoes in a way because we have Snapcaster Mages in our hand still. So I actually think if they want to Blood Moon me at this point, I let it resolve. I just like Field of Rune and get a basic island, just like let it resolve, solve island planes, and then I don't really care about the Blood Moon. Even if they ditch 2 birds here, I can snap path the birds. That's pretty okay. They discarded Surgical and Spell Pierce. Decent. So this is going to give them an untapped land here, but I want to get my mountain, I think. I think I'm going to go ahead and just, like, fire off this Helix. We're gut-shotting my Snapcaster Mage. Deal. It's a good one to draw after Snapcaster Mage has just been gut-shotted. I think I'm going to actually, if they don't give me anything that I need to veto, I think the plan is Snap Helix. Because I would like to play Clique while I have Veto mana up. So I think I want to just apply pressure here. They discarded a Surgical earlier, so I wouldn't be super surprised to see this Helix get Surgicaled. But again, that's only really saving them 1 life, so maybe they don't bother. Sure. And like with this second snap in my hand, I'm like not really sad to see this Surgical happen. Because like 1, it's only saving them 1 life in reality because they paid 2 for that. And 2, this means like a snap Veto later is less likely to get Surgicaled. So now, like, I get to click them and then untap and attack with a Colonnade. This is, like, pretty good. Spin them tires, baby. Spin them tires. I wonder if I'm supposed to veto that, actually. Like, just stop them from putting birds into the bin. Opponent is conceded. They know the contents of my hand. You're old. Thank you for the tier 2 resub, Magic Applegate. I appreciate the 14 months. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I move into college in a couple hours. I want to stop in and say thanks for the awesome content through the college process. I use your content to procrastinate, make sure I didn't have a breakdown. No breakdowns are good. Mental health is important. Hope you enjoy your semester at college, Maxwell. I'll be here. Hopefully see you between classes. Important to note that you should see me between classes, not during classes. Don't waste your money. Pay attention while you go to school. That's it. We've had a couple of people say that they're starting school this fall. The most important thing I can instill on you, and the reason why I ended up teaching college instead of high school, is that in college, your teachers, generally speaking, only care if you care. If you show up and dick around, so long as you're not being disruptive, most of us don't give a crap. It was my day 1 speech whenever I was teaching a new class was always like, I don't care if you text in class. I just don't want to hear it. It's your money. You're wasting your money if you don't pay attention in my class. I'm not your babysitter. This hand's a little medium. I think I'm supposed to mulligan this on against the average modern deck on the draw. It just doesn't do anything till turn 3. It doesn't have a spell to pair with the Snapcaster Mage. It's like somewhat enticing to keep because like it has all my colors, but like this hand is much better. I get to bottom of Teferi. I still have all my colors. I have a Bolt as early interaction. Did you find that parents get more involved in high school or college? So one of the big upsides to teaching college is when parents try to involve themselves in their child's college education, you get to tell them that I'm legally not allowed to give you information. Please go ask your child. The law says I'm not allowed to tell you what you want to know. I should have played Colonnade on 1 here. I clicked the wrong land. Bluetron. Bluetron. We're in the 2-0 bracket. We're not supposed to get Bluetron in the 2-0 bracket. Teaching adults is better than teaching teenagers. I mean, to be fair, a lot of college students are teenagers still. He's gonna like Natty-tron me here. We're gonna get Natty-troned and be sad. Especially because I have this Restoration Angel here. Just gonna go ahead and end step this Spell Queller to start attacking here. We're definitely the beatdown in this matchup. If they want to counter this, we'll untap and play Teferi. Turning off subsequent counter spells. Game 1 Cage seems like peak Modern. Yeah, especially, I was going to say in a deck that can't tutor it, but that's not true. Their deck has Trinket Mage in it usually, which can tutor Grafdigger's Cage. It was good, Tori. I went to the gym. I watched some TV. I went and had lunch with Christy. That's usually my day off plan, as I go visit Christy at work and we have lunch together. The building where she works has a massive cafeteria in it with a lot of different food options, which is great. All right, so while the blue mana's away, the Teferis will play. Just gonna go ahead and plus this here, I think. Bouncing a Spell Queller later is valuable, or like bouncing one of their plays. No, there's a banner restricted update on Monday for sure. Hey, look, my opponent's mono blue Tron deck natty Tron me. In my experience playing this matchup, the only times I lose to it are when my opponent like does good Tron things. So like the games I lose are the ones where like they just like naturally draw Tron and play a big thing. So we're going to 10 here. It's Illuminati Tron. So my opponent having repeal was a little bit of a punish for jamming my Time Raveler like I did, but the flip side of that also is that I think I'm actually going to bounce this to draw a card. Because if I hit a land, I can hold up Veto. Yeah, I'm just going to go up again. Odds of hitting a non-field, non-mountain land are pretty low. Just play something I can path, please. Is there a land on top? And again, just like, Blue Tron is just so awful. The only games I lose are the ones where they do something that resembles Green Tron. Yeah, it was there. Damn it. Yeah, I probably should have gone for it. It's unfortunate. I did get some old man rest. That's a good way to put it. Stony and Stroke are both good here. I don't know that I want Ashiok or Detention Sphere in this matchup. I feel like I don't. Nah, I think getting the Teferi into play is pretty important against their counter spells while I don't have blue mana up. I don't even know if I statistically made a good decision though, Burgle. Like the way to weigh it out is like how valuable is that Teferi downtick is the thing to think about. So like, was the Teferi downtick valuable enough that I shouldn't take the risk to draw the card? It's like they're on so few resources there. If I hit the land, like I have Path to Exile to cover a creature, and I had Path to Exile to cover a creature, so if I had Veto, I would have had creature plus non-creature covered. So I think I probably should have just bounced the cage. Because, like, bouncing Spell Queller is, like, kind of minimally good in that matchup. It's, like, okay, but it's not amazing. I think I was overvaluing that and should have focused on the, like, okay, I could have both bases covered here if I hit a land. Yeah, I don't know, Al. Obviously, like, so, like, not to intend to sound rude, but questions like that I think are always a little bit silly. Because you're asking me, like, don't I want this thing that I didn't bring in? So, like, very clearly, I think I don't want that thing. That's why I mentioned it and then didn't bring it in. So, to be helpful, rather than saying, Jeff, don't you want this thing that you explicitly mentioned and didn't bring in, maybe say, I think you should bring this in and this is why. And, like, maybe generate a discussion. Because, like, I don't think those cards are worth turning off. My opponent kept a one-lander? Alright, might be getting a bit of a free... Oh, no, this was my turn. It's like, where? I lost track of where we're at in the turn cycle. Okie doke. I think I'm actually just going to play this now. And, like, click a path out of my hand. Another thing I like to mention, since we're talking about Ashiok, Ashiok does not turn this into Wasteland. Ashiok explicitly only prevents your opponent's effects from searching their library. The fact that they are on Chalice of the Void means that for game 3, I'm going to cut these lightning bolts and probably bring in, like, Abrade, Detention Sphere, and maybe a Helix, because I just want to minimize the impact of Chalice of the Void in this game. I'm not Field of Ruining them because I don't want to unlock their... I don't want to unlock their blue mana. I've not played the Keithus matchup, so I have no idea, Dragon. On paper, it looks like you should be ahead, especially with Unmoored Ego. If you wanted me to speculate wildly, I would assume it's a good matchup. Have a pretty efficient clock here. Someone had asked me if I saw Zephyrin playing the Yarok deck last night. I did see he tweeted that he was playing it. I did not see him play any at all. Some of the subs were discussing it in the Discord server last night, though. Alright, so now that they've played a blue land, I'm more inclined to field them off this mine. Yep, that's a Batterskull. So they're going to go to 15 next turn, basically. So I'm going to field them off of this and then flash in Spell Queller here. Because this way they're still dead in 2 hits, even if they gain 4. Yeah, I punted the first game pretty badly. We're in an okay spot here, but if they hit a removal spell, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. because of this chalice. I've also boarded incorrectly here. I should know that their deck plays Chalice the Void if I think about it. And like, if I was thinking about it, this Lightning Bolt wouldn't be in my deck. And like, if this Lightning Bolt was Helix, Abrade, or Detention Sphere, I'd pretty likely win this game, guaranteed. And that's what Lightning Bolt's gonna be post-board. It's gonna be Abrade, or one of those other cards. Hey, Jack. Looking forward to the Banner Restricted too. Thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. They discarded second Chalice of the Void. Yep. All right. Do you have a Spatial Contortion or a Warping Whale? Walking Ballista does it too. IRL, this is where you look them in the face and say, Bolt you. Yep, definitely. So now a real question is, do I flash into Snapcaster Mages here to block? I think I do. They're not doing anything else, right? So, I punted game 1 with a sequencing mistake, and if I had sideboarded, better, I'd definitely win this game. I might still win this game, but we would have won last turn if I'd have sideboarded better. So they're at 7. We really like to draw like a Veto here. Hey, look, another uncastable Path to Exile. We clicked 2 paths out of our hands this game, and we bottomed one off and opt. Paths have just been glued to us. Hopefully they have nothing and they're dead. Double blocking the Batterskull there gives us 2 lethal attackers this turn, which is why I think it's the play. Yeah, I'm aware that I shuffled. I'm just like stating a fact though. We've gotten rid of a lot and they just keep coming back. Hopefully they're dead and we get to play a game 3 where we hopefully get to make less mistakes. We're repealing my Spell Queller. Okay. I'm going to decline to replay this because it counters anything they can do here, right? What are the odds they play Wipe Away? Do I just, like, does holding the Spell Queller, so, like, holding the Spell Queller means if they have Wipe Away, I don't kill them? Okay, they're just conceding, letting me know not to think about it. It's probably right to just replay the Queller there, actually. Wipe Away feels like a card that, like, a Bluetron player could register. Alright, so I think I just do that to play around Chalice the Void on one a little bit. Just bring in a Abrade, Helix, and 2 D-Sphere over these bolts. Listen, so what you need to realize is that it's not about... Yeah, like, you have to realize, like, once your opponent's registered Bluetron, like, all bets in terms of, like, that card's hard to cast, they shouldn't be playing it, all those bets are off. Because your opponent's already registered Bluetron. You have to not make decisions assuming your opponent has made good choices because they've registered Bluetron. So, like, all of that's just out the window. The second story window. High, low, low, high, do 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 do. As someone who plays Bluetron, this is true. Yep. Is this good enough? I feel like this isn't good enough to keep here. I feel like this card's like, okay, but it doesn't shut off enough of their deck to like be better than a random card here. I'm just gonna get a card off this Teferi right away. Okay, here's a good question, Burgle. Do you think Stony is worse than Lightning Helix? Because, for example, I think Stony's good in the late game as a way to soft remove Batterskull and, like, stop, sorry, my throat just got the worst crap in my throat this morning. It turns off... Stony turns off... Yeah, it might be worse than Helix. I would be willing to accept that it might be worse than Helix. But, like, turning off Slaver and Batterskull in the late game is, like, not irrelevant. But the reach is also kind of good. So my opponent's struggling to draw lands. So we are definitely Spell Quellering the crap out of this Expedition map. We are 2-0 and we are in game 3 of this third match. It looks to be going well. Yeah. Oh, it is. That's true. It is good against Ballista. Ballista is good enough against us that keeping... Maybe it's that maybe I only want one Stony. Maybe it's like... okay enough that, like, drawing one is fine, but it's not good enough that I ever want to draw two. I could see that being the reality. Hey, thanks for the 8 months, Al Familiar. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I'm just going to let that come into play. I don't really care about that, I don't think. We're going to end step, click myself, put Path on the bottom. Yes, that's exactly correct, Belly. Spell Queller, and 3-mana Teferi are a soft combo. Yeah, this is Teferi, Hero of Hearthstone. For those of you that haven't been here a while, this is Teferi, Hero of Hearthstone. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the path. Yeah, I'm actually gonna click. I'm actually gonna click the. I think I'm actually gonna click them. Nah, I'm gonna click me, but I'm gonna get rid of the Stony. Because I feel like I have Veto. I have Veto to cover a non-creature. So I want Path to cover a creature. Because, like, Teferi and now Detention Sphere can take this off the table. Yeah, but I have ways to interact with this. I guess Stony would have prevented this. So I can't use my graveyard anyways because of Cage, so I might as well just, like, do this and use all my mana for the turn. What's your opinion on sitting on your arena rank near the end of the season? It's my first, and I cracked 400. 400 probably isn't safe at this point in time. I I think I'm like 80 or so. And I would be surprised if I don't need to play a little bit more. You definitely can get to a point where you are able to sit on your rank. But the other thing to understand is there's more movement towards the end of the season than towards the middle of the season, as well as more people start playing at the end. And the lower you are, the more likely you are to slide down, because it takes fewer matches for people to jump over you. For people who are here for standard, I'm probably going to run a little bit long and play all 5 matches with this today. Because I think I'm going to an MCQ this weekend and playing this deck at it, so I want to get some reps in. So we are gonna play standard today, but I'm gonna finish this league out for sure. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. Got a little bit of everything. The MCQ is not on Magic Online. So it's a paper tournament. It's about 45 minutes from my house. So like I wasn't going to go, but then like one of my local buddies, all right, turns out Modern's not going to run long today. We're going to play one more match. One of my local buddies has a like 99% of the deck. I have to like buy like Field of Runes and Ashioks. Yeah, Infect's a great matchup. Bogles is not. And like, if I was playing in the tournament this weekend, I would play against Bogles because they have a failure rate, but like, playing against Bogles is not meaningful or interesting Magic, so I'm not going to waste time playing it on stream. I'm not about to learn anything about the Bogles matchup by playing it, so it's pointless to waste my time in doing so. For those not familiar with Modern, my opponent's deck just plays a bunch of 1-mana hexproof creatures, and then it puts a bunch of enchantments on them to kill you. And because my deck is based around being heavily interactive, it can't really interact with hexproof creatures, so you just die most of the time. Yeah, let the road to 3-2 begin. Settle the Wreckage is good there, you're not wrong. That is until they have Leyline of Sanctity in play and you die. I've not played the matchup, so I haven't ported it all. I don't really have any specific feedback on it because I haven't played it. Yep, took a mental health day yesterday, and then just drinking Jack straight from the bottle this morning to start things off. It's been a rough couple of days. Could be Soul Herder, could be Scape Shift. Either way, I'm gonna go ahead and kill this, I think. That's good. That was... Things like that happening to me is the reminder I need. Nah, I'm probably just like... I don't know. I don't care enough. Why Ashiok over Rest in Peace? Ashiok doesn't die to Nature's Claim. Ashiok doesn't turn off my Snapcaster Mages. And Ashiok has relevant text in other matchups. Soul Herder is this card, which blinks something every turn for my opponent. So they play a bunch of random entries. Their deck is really awful against anything that's not fair and dirtily like mine, which is another part of the reason why I feel like I don't want to play a fair dirtily deck. Because there's so many people in this format that all they do is play decks like this, that all they try and do is punish fair decks while having no respect for the unfair matchups. Just like, eh. Nah, I'll probably just stay home. And that's the nice thing about, like, not committing to getting cards in the mail. So I can just stay, oh, this is, yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna play standard. Every time I get like 5 matches into Modern, I'm just like, I remember why we're thinking about taking a break from playing Modern. All right, we went 3-1. I don't really want to sit here and play my fair deck against the deck full of cards that like are only good against the fair deck. We'll take my 3-2 and we'll stay home on Saturday. That was good. I think I'm gonna take a break from Modern until the ban list update happens. Modern's kind of a dead format until the ban list updates happen. So tomorrow and Friday, and then probably Monday, Tuesday are gonna be all standard. And then I'll be back with more Modern after the ban list update takes effect on either Wednesday or Thursday, whenever that happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and just roll along to the format where we don't have to deal with Bogles and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just like, it's not like super meaningful content or experience, right? Because like the format's gonna change when they do something. So I'd rather like not worry about trying to learn things in a format that like where what I'm learning is no longer relevant. You think Modern changes much with the banner restrict update? Nah, probably not. I can hope and dream though. It's a good excuse for me to not play Modern. So I'd be surprised if it changes too much, but in the middle, it's a good excuse for me to do something else. So we're gonna do something else.